Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. And don't mind the mess on the bed. I'm about to go to bed right after this, to be really honest with you. But you may be thinking you clicked on this video and you just see me and you're just like, where is the Dark Magician content? This is just a little brief intermission right before I get into that because I actually have some insane goo that I've been cooking up when it comes to the newest Dark Magician support and not really using the Azamita cards this time. I'm cooking up something completely different. So right after this video and maybe one other video that I might do with my boy Matt because he made top 16 with the latest regional that we had. So eventually whenever we have the time, I'm gonna profile his. We have some thoughts to say and everything like that. And then after that, we're just gonna talk about the venue, everything like that, what could have been better, all that good stuff like that. And then we're just gonna chill, absolutely. But I had the potential to make the top 32 of the latest Catskill regional, which you needed top 32 in order to earn your invite. My record was 6-3. We had a 9-round regional, and I think I played absolutely amazing. We really had a really bad start into the regional. We really like round 1 and 2, we lost. It was just bad. And then after that, the comeback started kicking in, and I did it all with K9 Fiendsmith right over here. So right before we get into the deck profile over here, I just want to tell you guys my rounds real quick. I had a little notebook right over here, so just so I can actually tell you what I actually remembered, right? So my round one was against Mitsurugi. I lost. We made it to game three, but did not did not make it through. Same thing with round two, White Forest. We lost. It was 1-2. Made it to game three. Once again, I couldn't pull it through. My round three was against Yummy. Yummy was an easy 2-0 clap. Like, didn't stand a chance. Same thing with my round four. It went on a little longer against Yummy, but still clap them 2-0. My round five was against Malice. I lost that one because Malice is just way too powerful, combo heavy, all that good stuff like that. But hey, there's something really funny in there. We'll get to that once I get to those cards real quick. Round six was against Lunalight. Clapped him 2-0. Really cool guy that I met. So yeah. If you're watching this, shout outs to you. My round seven was against another Yummy 2-0. He made a major misplay. I don't know why he did it. I'll get to it once I show you. And then my round eight was against another Lunalight. It was another 2-0 clap, easy like that. And my round nine was against Dracotail. Dracotail was 2-1, made it to round three, made it to game three, but this time I actually managed to pull it around. So those are my matchups from the latest regional. And without further ado, let's show you guys the deck right here, real quick, right over here. So monsters right over here. We're playing triple copies of the K9 and Zuna. We're playing triple copies of Joko. We're playing one copy of the Lupus and then one copy of the Lantern. So already through this, right? I will tell you this. I needed more level fives because the amount of times I just opened up either just the Joko, the case of K9, or just the chaotic elements just by itself, along with just like hand traps or even maybe like the Fiendsmith cards by themselves. It just never got me into um the second level five though. So originally my list had double copies of Lantern, but throughout my testing, I've just managed to open up just too many Lantern in my hand, or just have a hand of just like double Lantern, just really not doing anything else. Especially the fact that I get interrupted with that, even though double Lantern is not really that bad, but if you just get hand trap, it just doesn't do anything for you. So, I decided to cut it down to one. At first, I lost my games because I just didn't, once again, just didn't see my level fives, but throughout the tournament and how it went, I it started becoming less and less of a problem. But like, I just don't want that to happen again. So like, playing multiple copies of Lantern in the future will definitely be the move. And especially the fact that we are getting Doom of Dimension soon, so we are getting a new Canine monster that can function by itself. Like a single case of Canine should just be the entire one card combo to just help me get to what I need to do. So when that card comes out, I think that K9 Fiendsmith will just be a much powerful deck than it is right now as well. And I actually managed to do well in this one without that new K9 card or anything like that. Just imagine when the new K9 card comes out when it comes to Doom and Dimensions. So um this is my K9 lineup right over here. Really, really good. You can never go wrong with the K9 cards. And then you guys already know triple copies of Case of K9, and then triple copies of the Chaotic Elements, and then the one brick over here, which is the K9 Force Released. Um, Good card. I always cited out going second. You just don't want to see those bricks in your hand, especially when you just want to just keep drawing non-engine, or you just want to open up all that non-engine to stop your opponent. And there could have been a point where during the game too, when I cited this card out, where I could have actually like just gone for game a lot easier, a lot sooner. But I was still able to go for game anyways without the K9 Force Release. I just don't think it's worth having the brick whenever you go second during games 2 and 3. So is this a good card going first? Absolutely, is a pretty good interruption. You're just able to pop a card on the board, like if your opponent makes Baguska, for example, activate Force Release, get rid of it, like any of those cards like that. So being able to just do that really easily with the K9 Force Release is really good. The one time, during one time, the pop with the chaotic elements actually did come up because I was able to just fill up my grave with the Jokel and the lantern. So being able to just search that dirt Jokel and just be able to pop a card because of the fact that I had all my other 2 copies of Jokel and the lantern in my graveyard was absolutely great. That won me the game right there. And in case of K9, just really good. Um, just mainly good for the Rota. And then a lot of people had the opportunity to pop this, but they just read that second line and they just be like, "Yeah, I don't want you getting the K9 Force released." So they never pop this card whatsoever. So um, it's always good for people to actually read your cards. But even though you kind of do want them to pop them anyways. So that's gonna be it with the K9 cards. As I mentioned, I just need more level 5 monsters. There's level 5 monsters that I'm testing in here, but the main one is gonna be definitely um, the newest K9 monster that's coming out in the next core set. So Fiendsmith cards, they're basically straightforward: 3 Engraver, 1 Lakama, 1 Luri, 2 Tracked, 1 Paradise. I hate seeing this card in my hand, but it's still a great card, great interruption, great everything like that. So whenever you don't see this card in your hand, which is more than a great percentage of times, like you're just having a great time, especially the fact that you just go lock them up during your opponent's turn. Get um get the Requiem. Requiem gets you back into the Lacrima. Lacrima sends this to the graveyard, but not really gonna spend too much time on these cards because everyone should basically know what the Fiendsmith cards should do at this point. All right, and then basically straightforward hand traps. No board breakers here because like I just wanted to either just play one or the other. So we're just playing triple Ash, triple Veiler, triple Fua. We actually managed to play triple Ghost Bell, double copies of Ghost Ogre, double copies of Nibiru, and then triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. So cards that really worked. That was like amazing. There. Obviously it would never change them. Ash Blossom, great card, never would change that. The triple Veiler, just the fact that it's not once per turn and just opening up multiple copies of them is just absolutely insane. Fua, your opponent is just aware that they have the Fua, but in order for them to like build a board that is good under Fua, but at the same time they're giving me cards as well in order to like draw these cards like any of the other hand traps over here. It's just absolutely insane. It's just really good. Especially the fact that we have like a whole bunch of single interaction hand traps over here besides from the Nibiru. Just really good there. So that's good. Ghost Bell. I was debating on either just switching up the Ghost Bell to be at 3 or for the Ghost Ogre to be at 3. But throughout the testing, I did see that the Ghost Bell did come up a little bit more throughout my testing for it to be at 3. But throughout the regional, I did find that the Ghost Bell was just the better card overall, especially against like the Yummy matchup, like being able to just like pop their Link 1 when they have nothing else on their board, so their field spell means absolutely nothing to them. And then being able to just pop like the field spell if it comes to a later grind game, or when it comes to your opponent building a board and then you top deck a Ghost Ogre, your opponent attempts to activate the effect of the Snatchy in order to synchro summon, and then you just go Ghost Ogre. What synchro summon? You got nothing now, so that's really good there. Nibiru did not come up whatsoever today. Um, it's just the fact that people were either just playing around the Nibiru or the other hand traps interrupted them enough to the point where like they never really had the chance to play into the Nibiru. They never really went into 5 summons whenever I just hand trapped them. Like obviously when it comes to Fua, they never reached the 5 summons. So whenever I see Fua and Nib in the same hand, it's basically either one or the other, right? But if they ever did go into the 5 summons, like the Fua with the Nibiru is absolutely a power combo right there. So there's still some testing to be done with these cards. I have ideas of like how to switch up the ratios or anything like that. But technically, these hand traps are great. These they came up in testing because like I actually did a lot of testing on Dueling Book right before the event happened. So this is basically what I decided to go with before the event took place. So that's like about 18 hand traps right there. Including like 21 hand traps with the Azuna as well, because that is your honorary hand trap, but it's also an engine as well. So that is going to be it for the main deck. We are at 42. 42 is usually my lucky number there. 43 is like basically the maximum that I would do, but 42 is just something that I always do. Extra deck. So Fiendsmith cards, very, very basic and very straightforward. Obviously the fact that you're just able to spam a whole bunch of K9 monsters under the field, and then just you basically either take 2 of them to go into your Ripper, and the other 2 goes into your Moon. There's no locks except for like going for a light Xyz monster, but like we don't play any light Xyz monsters, so we're fine. So Moon, Agnum Day, Desiree, Necroquip, Caesar. So these are all your Fiendsmith cards right over here. Basically straightforward. Don't really need a lot of explaining there. Okay, I like when my cards fall apart. Okay, and then K9 cards. We play double copies of Ripper. And then we played with the one werewolf, and then the other 2 5s we played are the Valen and the Paradise Smasher, and then the Zeus over here. So I felt like throughout the tournament the Lupus wasn't the best card to activate because of the fact that I didn't really play cards like Nash Knight, as you see. Nash Knight plays like takes up 3 slots in your extra deck. Like a lot of people play the Nash Knight with 2 number monsters over 100 because of the fact that they are able to activate it once during your opponent's turn, because of K9 Zuna being able to do the whole thing during your opponent's turn, and then they do the same thing again during like back at your turn as well. Like you'd be able to just get out the other the extra number monster and then do it all over again, right? But I never really like felt like I needed to do it all that much. I mainly went for Lupus during my turn anyways because my opponent always interrupted me. So that was always extra body, so I either go for like the Ripper, the Valen, or just go for Fiendsmith combo anyways. So those cards are good. Obviously, Paradise Smasher. I'll never resolve this card once because always the fact that whenever my opponent just hand traps me, I just basically just go for Paradise Smasher. They always get rid of it, and then I would just go for Fiendsmith combo right after that. Or they just destroy this card, and I just never had a chance to win that game anyways. So there you go. Well, you could basically say that the Paradise Smasher is just a bait more than half of the time anyways, because once they see that card, especially with the 3rd material under it, they always have to get rid of it somehow. So there you go. Valen, it's just disgusting against Yummy, especially if they don't go for like obedience school. So like literally during this one, literally like my round 3, right? Played against Yummy. Like basically the same thing happened twice, right? So basically my opponent just normal summons the Cupsy, normal summon Cupsy, deactivate the effect. I activate Valor to just get rid of it, right? And then after that, I go Fua, they go Ash. And then I go Izuna. Izuna go for Lupus. Lupus summons itself back. Lupus effect goes for Valen, book it. They have nothing else to do. Gotta love it, right? And then game 2, where I didn't have an interruption for the Cupsy, but they did go Obedience School. I asked that. Then they normal summon Cupsy, activate the effect. I said, okay, that's cool. They go for the Yummy Surprise, and then basically I go Fua again. Ash, same thing happened again. Izuna, Lupus, summon, Valen, book. Great cards right there. Great card right over here. This card solos yummy whenever they have like a really simplified game state right there. Double copies of Ripper. I use one Ripper to just keep on the end board whenever my opponent would just go a hand like a hand effect or anything like that. But like I did felt like the Ripper did nothing on the board more than half of the time. The only thing that the Ripper did on the board whenever like things were successful or anything like that was the fact that the K9 force release was on the board, and being able to just serve as that Xyz material to go for the werewolf, and then the werewolf would just rip a card out of your opponent's hand, and the force release would just pop a card extra additional to that. So that's when I felt like the card did a lot there. But round 9, I did go Lupus over quick Xyz into another Ripper because my opponent got rid of my first Ripper when I didn't activate the effect yet throughout the through the Arthalion, and then he searched out another fusion spell, or he set it off of the Pan or the Urgler or something like that, and then right before he activated it, I just basically went, okay, Lupus effect, go for Ripper. So whatever he had planned to do with the either the Ketu or the Ketu or the Rahu, I keep forgetting, he just had nothing there. He couldn't do anything about that. Or he would just do it, but I would just negate whatever graveyard effect that he had going on. So these cards are good, definitely. And then the Zeus, obviously, when it comes to like the monsters over here, it's the fact that they either have like an additional material under it. So like K9 Ripper has like one material, you attack, and then you just go for a Zeus right after that, which is pretty good, obviously. And then one other thing right before we get to the side deck, Valen has a graveyard effect. If this card sent to the graveyard, you're able to just pop a face down card. I just forgot about that. I just didn't read the card that far out. So basically, it didn't really come up to a point where like I lost a game because of that. It would have just wrapped up one of my games a lot quicker if I just like realized that was a thing with like link it away if this card's into the graveyard. Oh, pop your card after I book it, right? But I just didn't notice that. So if you guys are planning on playing this or just playing any K9 variant that has the Valen in there, don't forget that. So that is gonna be for it for my extra deck. And then quick old side deck over here. Oh, and the last card in the extra deck is the Chaos Angel. So theory with Chaos Angel, right? Fiendsmith cards. Level 6 Engraver, level 4 Lacrima. Easy, it's just like that. But you can also do it with your level 5s, your level 5 YuGiOh and your level 5 Lantern. Basically just go for a pure dark material Chaos Angel, and just like that, you're able to do that. It's because of the fact that like um I got hit with Black Goat Labs, and they basically say K9 Ripper, and I'm like, cool, Chaos Angel. Especially when there was a really extremely simple board state right there. Then I'm just like, okay, Chaos Angel, get rid of your last card, attack, boom, there you go. So this card's really good. Absolutely. All right, side deck. Triple Draw, really good against the Mitsurugi stuff. Again, really good against the Lunalight stuff as well, and like Raizo, Mitsurugi, things like that. So card's still good, really. Yeah, definitely it is. Phantasme didn't have any Perulias at the time, but I found that this card was better in certain ways because of the fact that your opponent just like summons like Yummy Snatchy from the graveyard as well, and this card triggers whenever they're special summon, not just link summon. So this card is just able to special itself out at any time, and especially the fact that I did this as well meant that like my opponent couldn't just go cookie the cookie synchro and just like target two of my book monsters, two of my monsters to book them, because I could just negate it with this, which is pretty good. And then Artifact Lancia. Funny fact about Artifact Lancia, I did this against my opponent on against Maliss. I basically said reveal Joko, reveal activate Joko, reveal Lancia. Basically special both of them, and then I did everything while keeping the Lancia on board. Because of the fact that I just go Joko effect, reveal Lancia, special both. Joko effect would just search out for the lantern, and then I would just normal summon the lantern after that, and then I would just basically have my 2 level 5s there, and just go pop off like that while keeping the Lancey on board, and especially the fact that Lancey is able to trigger herself from the board and from the field anyway, so that's really good there. That basically won me one of the games against Malice, but it didn't get me too far. So um yeah, I don't like playing Lancia. Please, Konami, drop the ban list. Make me have a reason to take this card out. Anti spell, absolutely disgusting. Wanted me in the game two against White Forest. This card is just really good against Yummy. Is really good against Dracotail as well, and just basically like rogue matchups, and that especially includes Lunalight as well. And once they see the anti spell, if they have no way to get rid of it, is most likely just game over from there. Double copies of warning. This card is, I found this card to be just a lot better than the Solemn Strike this format, especially the fact that almost everything special summons, or any effect would just special summon, especially when it comes to like Lunalight, whenever they would just go like any of like the Lunalight Wolf pendulum effect, or they just go simple polymerization, or obviously against Dracotail, especially if they have cards like Blazing Cartesia or anything like that. And then the last and final card here is triple copies of Solemn Judgment. Never really used the Solemn Judgment to like negate any like board wipes or anything like that. It was just mainly there, just basically just to negate summons, anything like that. Like especially against like VSK9, as soon as I see that Raisin touch the board, I am immediately getting rid of that card. Like there is no question about that. I do not want that card there or anything like that. So that is going to be it for this deck profile over here. Starting next video again, I will be on the Dark Magician content. I already have something cooked up there. Now that I'm done with the regional, I have more time to cook up with Dark Magician. So I have a lot more videos planned for that as well. And if you guys found this video because you were looking up for K9 Fiendsmith or anything like that, you made it to the right place. If you also like your copy, if you also like your Dark Magician content as well, so drop a follow, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff like that, and I shall see ya in the next video. Peace.